Buddy, my name is Don Kaufman. You're watching a session on price improvement and trade execution from TheoTrade. All right, we're not a broker dealer. Okay, I spent 15 years in the brokerage side of the business, which is going to give me some pretty detailed insights to exactly what we're going to be discussing today. In fact, I'll talk about that quite extensively here momentarily. TheoTrade is based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. It's a copyright disclaimer. This is ours. This is not yours. But I also want you to know that if you need to get a hold of me after today's session, people, that's fine. You can get a hold of me. And you get a hold of me really at any time you'd like. Just shoot an email to the address below, which is effectively right here. Okay, it's just support@theotrade.com. Put Don in the heading. I will answer the email. All right, with that, let's hop into this. A little bit about what we're going to discuss today. So we're going to discover how trades are routed, okay, how they're filled, so you can really get best execution. That, sounds reasonable. Everybody's like, yeah, I get best execution. Well, you're going to learn a couple of routing skills today. We're going to actually do a couple of live trading examples on achieving price improvement. I'll actually split markets a little bit today. This is a live environment, so we'll see what happens. And we're also going to teach you how to improve upon your own trading fills, a couple of simple steps. And if you learn how to improve upon execution, just understanding what execution means. When I say execution, how do you execute your trades? I mean, do people really think about that kind of stuff? Right? So we're going to talk about, again, this price execution, and you do this and you're efficient at it, you can save thousands of dollars a year on improvements in how you send your orders. And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in this session today. Here's a little bit about me for those of you that are brand new. Anybody here brand new, never really been to a TheoTrade presentation before? You guys ready to get thrown in the deep end of the pool? I'm going to move at a pretty good clip today. So the session today, a little background on myself, but so I grew up around traders. When I say I grew up around traders, I literally grew up around traders. I had family members that traded, and I had an uncle actually that made markets in the Chicago Board Options Exchange. He started with one seat in 1977. By 83, he had owned over 500 seats on exchanges around the world. And he started a market making firm, and the market making firm was called O'Connor and Associates. And for decades, it was hailed as the greatest, trading firm. And that's kind of this thing I grew up around. He sold it in 1992 to the Swiss bank, and I actually started trading in the late 90s. So that's a little bit of background on me. So I started trading in the late 90s in Chicago. A very short time after I started trading, they moved me upstairs to be a derivatives risk manager. And only about 2 years after that, I went to work for what was a startup. It was actually called Thinkorswim. And I actually ran and built education for Thinkorswim. I then went on to actually run education for TD Ameritrade. I was on the executive team when we went public. I was there when TD Ameritrade obviously acquired Thinkorswim. For 5 years, I ran education at TD Ameritrade and their 7 million clients. And one of the insights I'm going to give you guys today is we're going to talk a little bit about order flow. And we're going to talk what it means to actually understand about order flow, order execution. And I'm going to tell you right now, as I said a moment ago, I'm going to move at a really good clip today. This stuff gets deep. And I am just absolutely emphatic about how people send orders. I hope that you listen very carefully today, take some notes, because everything I'm going to give you today, there's no, I don't have any axe to grind in any way, shape, or form. I'm actually going to be trading on several different brokerage firms today as well. And I'll give you a feel for that as, so we're going to be using a little bit of Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade. I'm going to use some Tastyworks today, and I'm going to show you a little bit about order execution. As I say, I don't have any axe to grind, but you should pay very careful attention, because I've watched tens of billions of dollars of order flow route through TD Ameritrade's pipes for the better part of almost 15 years. And that's some of the background, some of the experience. Did a couple of TV appearances. This is the last time I was on set here in Chicago for TD Ameritrade TV. A couple of CNBC appearances. With that, listen, I want to move away from the slideshow immediately and actually get into a live trading environment. That all right with everybody? because again, this is going to be, as I said, a little bit more intense than we're kind of used to. The way I suggest, if you are tuned in right now, this is the time that you want to watch the screen very, very carefully. So we're going to have a little overall discussion, and we're going to, by the way, we're going to make this, back and forth. We have the chat up, we have the question and answer up. As I said a moment ago, this is live. Okay, I am reading the chat room right now. The only way to do this is in a live trading environment. But I thought, what a great week to do this. So a lot of people are sitting home. They're, even if you're not quarantined, you're probably not going a lot of places. People are in front of their screens right now, but the market's not exactly a rocking, right? It's a great time to talk about order execution, because when the markets are not slinging around quickly, you actually can learn more about bid offer spreads and about splicing through bid offer spreads. So let me give you guys a little bit of background on trade execution. When I say trade execution, what am I really talking about? Right. And again, these are not rhetorical questions. Like, I mean it. When I talk about like trade execution, right now you're looking at the Tastyworks platform, and some people go, huh, I'm not familiar with Tastyworks. Listen, as I said, I can bring up Thinkorswim, I can bring up, Tastyworks. I've got positions literally on both, and I now trade effectively on both. Today, I'd actually plan to trade a little bit more on Tastyworks. And you're going to say, well, why? Why are you on Tastyworks? I'll tell you why. Because the backbone of Tastyworks, okay, is a high frequency trading application. When I say the backbone, what you're looking at here, and people may or may not be familiar with a little bit of technology, right? But what you're looking at here on Tastyworks, this is what we call front end technology, all right? This is like the user interface, and what you're doing is this is where you interact with the markets. Okay. But behind all of this, behind Tastyworks or behind Thinkorswim or behind any trading application, there has to be a backbone. There has to be like an order routing device that actually shoots out, okay, those trades to separate exchanges. Okay. There has to be a backbone that's actually accepting quotes. So what's the backbone over here? One of the reasons I love to talk about order routing and trade execution specific to Tastyworks, as I said a moment ago, Tastyworks, the backbone of it, the order routing system, okay, was actually built by a high frequency trading firm. And there's like maybe, I don't know, 20 people in the world that probably even realize that. This group of traders, and I've known the traders that built the backbone of Tastyworks for almost 20 years, but this group of traders, they are excellent in the high frequency world. So when Tastyworks was being built, the guys at Tastyworks knew this other trading group really well, and they said, "Hey, you mind if we use the backbone of the high frequency platform?" And they said, "Of course, man. What a great marriage, between that." So what you're looking at in terms of Tastyworks is the order execution is just it's unparalleled in terms of speed of execution, which I'm going to discuss. The other aspect, and a lot of you people probably are aware of this, okay, Thinkorswim. So I actually spent the better part of my career. I spent 15 years, okay, working specifically with Thinkorswim. When I say working with Thinkorswim, I mean, okay, a huge amount of software development of Thinkorswim ran through, okay, my hierarchy. So we actually built a lot of the technology on Thinkorswim, including like, the analytics in here. If there's somebody that knows the analyze tab, it's me. If charting and so forth, I know the charting extraordinarily well. I'm not big into technical analysis, but I know the charting because that kind of reported again through my hierarchy when I was with TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim. And Thinkorswim, okay, TD Ameritrade was recently acquired by Charles Schwab. And lo and behold, we're starting to flee a little bit and more on a day-to-day basis, especially my intraday trades. Okay, I'm now executing on Tastyworks because it has to do with speed. It has to do with agility inside of the marketplace. Again, it's not just for intraday trade, but that's, I had to start somewhere. in my own trading to start to execute away from Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade, what is now Charles Schwab. And I'm going to continue to do so. I'm starting to build much more aggregated positions now on Tastyworks. The technology, well, it's going to speak for itself here. So with that, as I said a moment ago, we're going to talk a lot about trade execution. There are some things that you need to know, okay, in this business. And when I say, trade execution, and I've used that term 20 times already, I asked that generalized question. I said, what does trade execution mean to you? And I ask, like, not facetiously, like seriously, type in, what does trade execution mean to you? And when I ask this, it's kind of like, what? Just complete and total, like, dead silence in here. It's interesting. Okay. What does trade execution mean? Anybody willing to take a shot at that? Anybody at all? Okay. It's it's of critical importance, that we all understand this. So it's I like this. Okay. Getting orders filled. It's a big portion of it. Getting orders filled. Trade execution is a skill. And it is a skill that can only truly be acquired, right, if you will, by playing the game. And I use a great analogy for this one, and I've been using this one for years, but you can read every book you want to about hitting golf balls and playing golf. You can read literally every single book out there, and you can still walk out to a driving range and you're like, wow, do I suck? I am absolutely terrible. I'm like the worst golfer ever. Trade execution and trading, okay, you got to look at trading as a little bit of a sport. You're going to go out there and you're going to have to hit some singles and doubles, but you have to understand, okay, who you are, okay, what you are, and what you're capable of before you go out and start to execute trades. And when I say what your capabilities are, like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses in this business? Like, it doesn't matter what you're trading on right now. It doesn't matter. I don't care whether you're on Tastyworks, whether you're on Thinkorswim. Somebody's like, I'm on Robinhood. Okay, you shouldn't be there. I don't care as long as it's not Robinhood, because if you guys are aware of this, Robinhood just got fined $65 million. They did not admit any wrongdoing, but they got fined $65 million. They were accused of not sending orders to the best marketplace. That's unfortunate. Anyway, when you start to talk about trade execution, it's a little bit of a sport. Okay, one of the first things that you have to know is that orders, they all route differently. Okay, there are some of you that are tuning in right now that trade what? Stock. Some of you probably turn around and trade what? Options. A few of you may be so inclined to trade what? Futures. Does everybody realize, okay, that with these three products, they route vastly differently. When I say that, I mean, what do you mean? Okay, stock orders do not route the same as option orders. They don't route through the same pipes. Okay, they have different rules. Futures is a completely different animal. Futures is not even regulated, okay, by the same bodies as options and stock. Futures, man, that is a first in, first out marketplace. That is raw capitalism. That is, no holds barred. That is hardcore, right? These three things route completely differently. And I'm going to hit as much as I possibly can today. We might even touch upon, a little bit of like futures and so forth. So let's get to work. Let's get to work and let's start to discuss, right, the ability for you to trade a little bit and how you can get, more active fills. One of the first things, right, that you want to discuss in light of all of this is, okay, we're going to look at stock. And in this case, I'm going to make this like super easy. By the way, we could trade any different product you want. So I was trading a little bit of the financials earlier today. So we're going to look at the XLF. Now, the first thing I want you to know about the XLF, and again, we're going to talk about stock and then work our way to options and maybe even have a little time for some futures. Here, okay, see the XLF? This is the bid and this is the offer. All right, one of the first things you have to understand as a trader in this business, when you buy something, okay, you are making an offer to buy it. When you sell something, okay, what are you doing? You're trying to get rid of it, which is usually at the bid. So when you're trying to go out there and buy it, all right? So I want to be a buyer. What price do you want to buy it at? Listen, you can buy this thing at any price you want. You can come in here and try to buy it at $29. It's not going to fill at $29 right now because the price, okay, is $29.03. Could I try to fill at 29? Of course you can. But look how tight that market is, people, right? It doesn't get much better than this. It is literally 29.02 at 29.03, period. So, okay, if you were going to go out there and you're going to price something and you want to get filled and you want to get filled right this instant, let me tell you something. Stock's easy. Seriously, stock is easy, right? First rule over here. We do not use market orders ever. Why would you? There's no reason to use a market order over here. So what do we use? Okay. Limit orders in every situation, in every case. There is absolutely unequivocally no reason to use a marketable order at all. Any trader that tells you otherwise, okay, has what? Either lack of skill or they're getting compensation for you using marketable orders. You do not use market orders in any instance ever. Okay, not in stocks, not in options, not in futures. Okay, the only time I've ever used a market order, honestly, is when I was actually back working at Early Thinkorswim when I was actually testing technology for them. Okay, we'd actually fire off some market orders and be like, okay, it's not a good idea. And I'm going to tell you exactly why it's not a good idea. If I click over here, all right, and I'm ready to buy. So I just loaded up an order to buy. Down below, buy 100 shares, 29.02. Now, if I were to go to a market order, okay, market order says, do me wherever the market is. Okay. Did anybody see, I think it was like a day ago, the spiders, okay, had a mistick. I don't know what a mistick is. Some people are like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds bad. Okay. The spiders had a little bit of a mistick. And I apologize, I'm trying to pull up like an incredible amount of data right now in here. But with the spiders, with their little mistick, they jumped up in price in a very, very short period of time. Okay. And in doing so, there were a lot of client orders that just got taken apart in there. And it is an unfortunate, again, an unfortunate consequence. I probably have to close this. I apologize. I have a tremendous amount open right now on my screen. So bear with me here momentarily as I re-enter into a trading application. I have too many windows open simultaneously right now. So let's see if I can actually show this to you. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Okay. There's this massive mistick in here. And again, I have to go back in time just a bit over here. And this happens, by the way, all the time. Okay. There it is. Lo and behold, okay, huge amount of order flow. This could have been a fat finger mistake, but if you had actually placed a market order at this point in time, okay, listen, the market was trading 368. You may have actually gotten filled at 378. Okay, question is, did they bust the trade? I don't know if you could, okay? The marketplace really technically did trade there. Therefore, by the power invested in me, okay, you're out of luck. And I'm going to tell you, this happens way more often, okay, than anybody would like to admit. I apologize. I had like 6 different windows open here of Tastyworks, and I was pulling a little too much data while doing a live presentation. So in looking at this, right, there's no reason to run out there, okay, and to try to pull off, some market order. There's no reason. And people, I was in a fast market. I had to do it. Okay, why? Why can't you just do this? Review and send the order. Okay, what's wrong with that? So I'm filled. Like, did I just fill? Yeah. Okay. No, what happened? Okay, I'm filled. So now I have a position in here. I can cruise back over to my activity, and again, I've got quite a number of positions open here, so bear with me. So I went there and just filled. All right. So great. So how do I get out of it? Right click over here. All right. Create the opposing order. So I went out there and just filled moments ago. And again, I want to make sure that everybody sees the activity here. I went and filled at 29.03, the exact time of execution. I bought to open. I was trading a little bit in the XLF earlier today. So, okay, I filled at 29.03. Come back over to the trade tab, and I want to get out of it. Where do I want to get out? I don't know. Maybe I want to buy at 29.03 and I'll sell at 29.03. Okay. So, all right. Apologize. I just sold out of it instantaneously there. So we're in, we're out, we're on with our life. Fast enough for you? Okay. So I go in there and I immediately execute both in, again, and out of the trade, okay, at precisely, again, precisely the same price, okay? So we'll stop right there for a second. And in doing so, and I'm going to bring up now the spiders here, in doing so, I've given up effectively nothing in the bid offer spread. Now, time out for a second, okay? One of the things that I want you to realize here is that, first of all, the XLF is easy, okay? Stock is easy because stock, we're dealing with what? Pennywide markets. Now, at some point in your trading kind of career, you should probably realize that the product that you trade, when I say product, you could trade stocks, you could trade options, you could trade futures, like the product that you trade, liquidity is everything. Okay? If you're trading something that has an incredibly wide bid offer spread, I think that the question to you should be, well, why? Okay, why would you trade something with a wide bid offer spread? Because in doing so, you're putting yourself in an incredible, okay, deficit pretty much from the get-go. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? Does it make sense to everybody that you're putting yourself in a deficit position over there? By the way, somebody was asking about, different sounds on here. Good stuff. It's good stuff. So those are my like order fill sounds. Anyway, in putting yourself in a position that's like less liquid, right? You look at like Facebook here, and okay, Facebook, if you will, the bid offer spread in Facebook, it's a $270 product, right? This has a little bit of room, right? So fun stuff. I was actually buying and selling XLF, obviously in the background. There was my fill, okay? But Facebook, there's a little bit of give and take in the bid offer spread. We could go out and trade that. And again, there's no reason, like even in an example here, okay, you could trade 100 shares, you could trade one share, it doesn't matter. The one thing I try to point out constantly, okay, in this business is that now that stock is free, more people want to trade stock, okay, but the reality is it's about execution. Just because you're trading, and I loaded up one share in here just to make a point, just because you're trading, like Captain One Lot rides again. Look at this marketplace. It's moving fast, what, 271.09, 271.17, okay? You can come in here, and if you really want to learn order execution, think about this for a second. If you really want to learn order execution, you want to get better at this, why go out there and do 100 shares? Go into stuff like Facebook, okay, that has a fairly wide or wider marketplace, okay, and Sling literally like one share of stock. Good, filled, right? So I'm filled in there. And now that I'm filled in there, okay, and I again, as I said, I literally just did one share of stock. So there's my one share. I can come in here, all right, and I can then order to close the position. Now, again, look, and I know I moved quick in here, but look where I filled. So I filled, okay, at 271 and 12 cents, 271 and 12 cents. Now, I'm not even looking at a chart. I don't care. I don't care. This is about order execution. I filled it, again, 271 and 12 cents. I come back to the trade tab. I'm locked and loaded. I want to fill better than that, okay? Let the marketplace come to me. Let's try to fill at 271 and 19 cents to sell that one, okay? I'm just going to send off the order. I'm working. That's it. Okay. So now I'm actually working to get out. Again, I filled 271 and 12 cents. I'm working to get out at 271 and 19 cents. All right. Why not? Right now, the market is 271, okay, 17. Well, I'm trying to get out of this thing. I'm offering it for sale at 271.19. And I'm nowhere near the marketplace, but let it fluctuate. Let it fluctuate. Now, some people say, but what happens if things start moving really, really fast? If they start moving really, really fast, all I have to do, okay, and bear with me, all I have to do is click on here, okay, replace the order. There's no panic, all right? Replace the order, open the lock the lock, open the lock the lock. If I open the lock the lock, okay, fire, filled, all right? Now I'm out, okay? because, you're like, oh, I'm going to panic and I want you to see my activity now. I panicked out of it. I filled it, at 12 cents and I filled it 12 cents again. What did I make on here? Absolutely nothing. But the point of this is, right, that's a fairly fast market. Even in a slow day, it's fairly fast market condition. And there's no reason for you to step out and have to actually reach for that marketplace. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay. All right. Hmm. One of the things, that you really have to think about as a trader, though, is your execution skill. And this is something that, traders, they're worried about strategy, they're worried about this, that, the other thing. You get nowhere if you can't execute. You're not going to get anywhere. Now, as I said a moment ago, I believe that stock is relatively easy, right, to get fills in. As long as it's a liquid product out there, it's relatively easy to get fills in, because almost everything that is liquid, right? And I look at Bank of America and like Wells Fargo, they're all pretty much penny wide markets. Okay. You can get into some like wild child stocks out there like NVIDIA, right? You want to look at something like NVIDIA. All right, its bid offer spread widens out, but we're talking negligible amounts. You look at something even like Tesla, but it's a $640 stock. Okay, forgive me, it's not all that exciting. I mean, again, forgive me for saying that, but everything in stock these days is pretty straightforward. Okay, so where does the skill come into play? Well, the first thing is, again, don't use market orders. And in light of everything you may have heard, okay, in terms of like trading, you can absolutely use things like bracket orders. Now, I'm a very large tactician in the marketplace. If I'm going to go out there and buy 100 shares, you can set up bracket orders now, close at a profit, stop loss. It's all, again, bracketed orders. It's all in here. All right. Push all of that aside, because the bracketing of orders isn't going to make you better at executing the orders, right? As I said, there's things you got to know and things you don't know. And what I'm going to try to do in this, in this session today is, this is not so much like, I don't want to make a Tasty Works demonstration. I don't want to make it a think or swim demonstration. I want to make it a demonstration, okay, of you understanding order flow, of you understanding how to get best execution, best pricing. Okay. So with that, let's start to get down to business. A completely different notion. I'm actually going to bring up Home Depot. I've been carrying some positions in Home Depot, but I am intentionally going into a marketplace, okay, that is a slightly wider bid offer spread. Why am I doing that? To display to you a little bit more, okay, about how you get filled, okay, what the best bid, best offer happens to be. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle an option in here. And by the way, it doesn't even matter what option. I'm going to circle an option. I want you guys to understand the marketplace, okay, and my influence on the marketplace. First and foremost, we're looking at Home Depot, and we're looking at Home Depot. It's trading right around 270. Everybody see that on top? It's trading right around 270, right? I'm going to look at like the 270 puts. Okay. Why are you using puts, Don? What's going on? Okay. Nothing. All I want to show you is that this marketplace, that marketplace is what? It's 15 cents wide. I'm $6 bid, okay, at 6.15 offered. And what that effectively means, okay, is that right now, if you needed to, if you wanted to, if you had to fill, you could buy this thing for 6.15. Everybody agree with that? Okay. And then if you had to sell it 2 seconds later, you could sell it for $6, because that is the marketplace. And then somebody inevitably asks me, how many could I do at the 6.15 level? I don't know, put in 1,000. Go ahead, knock yourself out. They'll fill you. They'll fill you 1,000. Literally 1,000 contracts. So who the hell is going to trade that big? Good question. But they'll fill 1,000 of them. I'll tell you why they'll fill 1,000 of them. They'll fill 1,000 of them because the market is 6.15. That's a wide market. That's so wide you could drive a truck through that thing, right? It's a 15-cent wide market. And if you go out there, okay, and you trade at this price of 6.15, you just gave somebody 7.5 cents. Like, oh, who cares, man? It's 7.5 cents. 7.5 cents. Okay. So every time you got into this contract, you just gave up $7.50 plus transaction costs. And then you're going to get out of it. You're going to give up another $7.50. Okay. That's on a one lot. What are you? Okay. You're dead. You're going to be dead in this business. You're not going to survive. You give up that much edge. What you have to understand, okay, about trading as a retail client. You have preferential treatment. Now, some people have heard that term, okay? Some people have heard that term, some people haven't, all right? So drinking some soda over here at the same time. It might be a little Red Bull. Anyway, you have preferential treatment. If I come in here, all right, if I come in here and I see a marketplace, and again, I just want to show you the marketplace right now, okay? This marketplace, and I can't stress to you enough, this marketplace is $6 at 6.15. Now, I programmed my own system here, okay, to always come to the mid price. If the market on this particular option is 6 at 6.15, I'm going to come in there and I'm going to try to buy where? I'm going to try to buy at 6.05. Why? I don't know. Okay. Can I fill at 6.05? Probably not, but I'm going to make a good point. If I come in here at 6.05 and I try to be a buyer, okay, at 6.05, what's going to happen to this marketplace? Okay. This is best bid and best offer. Well, guess what? If I try to buy it at 6.05, I'm the best bid. So I'm going to move the market basically to what? Okay. To the price point of basically 6.05. Oh, it's moving on me. Listen, we're in a live market. Let me just show you. Okay. Let's do this. Here, I'm going to move the market to $6. So if I come in here and I try to buy this for $6, what's it going to do? It's going to shift this price to $6. Look, review and send the order, fire at will. The market instantaneously moves to $6. Got it? Okay. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go back over to my activity. Okay. And you can see these are working orders, filled orders. I'm working right now at 6.05. What do I want to do? Cancel the order. So I'm going to cancel the order, come back to the trade tab. All right. Look, they bounce the order right back to 5.95. Let's do it again. Except this time, okay, do I want to come in at $6? Because I could do it exactly again, or I can even come to 6.05. Now, if I come to 6.05, that's pretty close to 6.10. They may actually execute my trade instantaneously. Okay, can we do it? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, let's go in here and actually work it at 6.05. Okay, instantaneously. Look how fast, right? So we're 6.05. Guess what? Now I'm wearing it. Now I own it, okay? Because that thing filled. So we just saved basically, instead of going out and buying it at 6.10, that's exactly what the marketplace wanted us to do. I filled at 6.05. All right. So all I'm doing in here is showing a little bit about price improvement. Now I'm going to go out there. And again, I can choose my, activity, my positions in here. If I go to my position and I go close this position, okay, can I try to get out again at 6.05? Well, yeah, but now the marketplace is 5.95 at 6.10. So if I try to sell this thing at 6.05, that 6.10 is going to jump down to 6.05. Watch. Okay, so that's now going to be 6.05. Why? Because now I am what? I'm the best offer out there. So if anybody in this industry, okay, wants to trade at the 6.05 and they want to be a buyer, they have to trade me first. Okay. All I'm doing is just displaying that, what a lot of retail clients don't realize is that when the marketplace isn't tight, you can tighten it up. When the marketplace is 5.95 at 6.05, okay, you can actually come in there in the middle. You're like, but I might not. Well, if you don't fill immediately, work your order, people. They have to move this marketplace with the rest of the options in the chain. So they're going to have to trade through you. And that's what people don't get about the business. Let the order come to you. Let the market work in your favor, right? It's literally that easy, okay, to get an order execution. Now, as I was saying, and this is of critical importance, your order is preferred. So one of the things that I wanted to mention for a second, if I am 6.05 bid, I'm 6.05 bid, and I push my order out. By the way, bid means I'm trying to do what? Buy, right? If I'm 6.05 bid, my order as it flies through the Tastyworks pipes is tagged with an R, okay? At the exact same time that I do this, even that, here, we'll have fun with this. Goldman Sachs also wanted to buy the exact same option, and their 6.05 bid, okay, they want to buy it. Their order isn't tagged with an R. There is what, okay? It's actually tagged BD, broker dealer. They're actually professionals, you're retail. In and only in the options marketplace, your order will have preferential treatment. It's how the servers queue the orders. Everybody knows, okay? The R is retail tagging. And by the way, these order stats are actually kept and displayed. So there can't be any, funny business. Nobody screws around with it. They want to execute retail order flow first. And I'll tell you why this happened. This goes all the way back to the late 80s, early 90s. Retail orders were not getting filled because none of the professionals gave a crap. Okay. The Securities Exchange Commission stepped in, the Option Clearing Corp stepped in, everybody got a say, and they said, you know what? Forget it. All retail orders, if it's the same bid or offer on a single option, okay, retail order will have preferential treatment. So if Goldman Sachs, is bid, and even if they want to do 1,000 contracts, your one lot has to get filled before they can fill their 1,000. Okay, if it's same bid, same offer, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exchange designated. It's important to know this. All right. Comments, questions on this one? Because again, it's critical that we understand this. So here's where somebody actually jumped in and said, can you direct an order? Can you direct an order to a specific exchange? So some trading applications actually allow it. And I'm going to jump to Thinkorswim for a second, because I'll tell you what, back in the day, I'd be like, look at this. It's an I, it's a B, it's a C, it's an exchange designation. Like, oh man, look at all these. I'm going to the NASDAQ, I'm going to the ISC. That's actually a load of crap today. And I'll tell you why it's a load of crap today. It's a load of crap today because, first of all, there are exchanges that you can't see, and they are actually trading dark liquidity. And dark liquidity can actually be the greatest thing ever to you. And I'll explain this in a nutshell, because I was going to go there anyway, but now we're going on the tangent. Okay. Dark liquidity is not like this ominous, nefarious thing. Okay. When you see individual exchanges, I'll tell you what you don't see. Okay. You know what you don't see? Okay. Does one of these exchanges say Citadel? Okay. Does it? Does one of these say, okay, Jump Trading? Anybody ever heard of these firms? Citadel, Jump Trading? Huh? Does anybody see that on here? No, they don't. I'll tell you what. Citadel fills a tremendous amount of TD Ameritrade's orders. Okay. Citadel fills a huge amount of Tastyworks orders. All the order routing statistics are available on public domain. That's actually one of the rules of the Securities Exchange Commission. Right? So think about this. Okay. When you think that you're routing to an exchange, you may actually be putting yourself, okay, in a kind of deficit position, because you think it's kind of cool, because you're like, oh man, I can go over here to the NASDAQ. Oh, you know what? I'm going to direct it to the SIBO. But then you're actually circumnavigating the ability, okay, for a Citadel or a Jump Trading to easily grab the trade. They may have actually needed the other side of your order, but they don't necessarily represent, on the NASDAQ, okay, or on the ISC. And there are a ton of exchanges that are currently not listed on, for instance, even the Thinkorswim platform. So it's a little bit, okay, of a misconception about what we should route to a specific exchange, or that works. If your brokerage firm, okay, is good in terms of execution, if your brokerage firm is good in terms of, like, for instance, Tastyworks is using a high frequency backbone, if they're good, you ain't never going to have that problem. You're never going to want to route to a specific exchange. What I suggest that you do, though, and here's my suggestion to you: if you come in here, all right, and you're worried about, like, the right exchange and so forth, watch what I'm going to do. Okay. So I'm going to open up some SPY options. Just going to open up a couple SPY options. The marketplace is bid up here a little bit. Okay. And we're going to go in here and trade a couple of in the money calls. So with these in the money calls, and again, I can come bid, I can come offer, right? I can buy, I can sell. It's a party out there. But when I am structuring a trade, okay, in this case, I can go long, I can go short. There's all the different strategies that you can create in here. But as I am actually starting to structure a trade, and bear with me here, I'm going to clear the order out of there. As I'm structuring the trade, okay, you're worried about the exchange, okay? Why? Because again, you can't really tell the best bid to best offer. Like Tastyworks has got it right. There's no more I, C, B over here. They don't care because I'm going to tell you exactly what you should do. If you're not filling, look, here's a market of $1.60, $1.65. Okay. I'm going to come in right now at $1.60, confirm and send the order. Okay. Look, come over to my activity. My activity says I'm working, I'm not filling. Come over here, cancel, replace the order. Cancel, replace the order at the exact same place. Why? Because it's actually going to shift it right back through their order router, and it'll actually spin possibly to another exchange. So what I'm doing is filled. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm taking the exact same order and I'm continuously representing the order via cancel, replace. I'm representing the order back, okay, to a multitude of different exchanges. And by the way, I just want you to see the activity there. I filled at $1.60. So I filled at $1.60. So if I come back to the trade tab here, now the market's 58.63. I'm going to work that one at 62. Okay. I'm going to try to actually get filled and out for a very small profit. In this case, I'm going to try to fill for like $1.62, just enough to cover the cost of my commissions. But you see, like, you're like, oh man, I'm not filling at $1.62. Okay. Don't freak out on me here. You can come right in here, right? You see me working, come right in here. I can cancel, replace the order. I can come in here at 61, reroute, fire at will, filled. Okay, so I filled at $1.60 on the way in, filled at $61 on the way out. We'll just do it again. Okay, and the commissions here, the commissions are nominal. So here's a market of $1.60, $1.64. I'm going to come in at $1.61. Okay, coming in at $1.61. Okay, filled immediately at $1.61 to be on the buy side of that. That, people, is a freaking fill. That was incredible. Okay, even I'm shocked by that one. Now I'll come in here, right? Once I've actually got my position on again, I'll come in here and close the position, right? So now we're what? $1.57, $1.61. I'm going to come in here at $1.62, which is actually better than you see represented on the screen, $1.62. And I'll just work the order to be able to get out, and I'll just leave it in there for the time being. So there I am. I'm $1.62 on the offer. Okay. I'm close to a fill, no fill just yet. But again, working your orders is everything in this business, because all you have to do is you get a penny here, a penny there. You know, everybody complains about commission, but I'm going to tell you this. Okay. I spent 15 years in the brokerage world, and for 15 years, I had to answer emails. People like, your commissions suck. This is back when we were at Thinkorswim. We had great commissions too. Your commissions suck. And I'm like, you know what? I looked at your trades. The way you get filled sucks. And it drove me crazy. I don't mind saying that now because I'm on the education side of the business. And I'm like, you know what? If you're going to complain about commissions, okay, I'm going to complain about the way that you get filled. By the way, commissions at Tastyworks, they charge you $1 on the way in, and they charge you nothing on the way out. Okay. What did I pay? I paid nothing. Now, look at this. The marketplace is moving away from me. I'm panicking. Am I panicking? If I really needed to get out of this, what could I do? All right. Now, again, I don't feel the need to get out of this, but if I needed to get out of it, okay, I can come back over here to my activity. And you can see I'm working right now at $1.62, and I want you to see this. I'm working at $1.62. Okay, it's currently trading $1.59. I'm 3 pennies off of a fill. 3 pennies. Yep, I'm filled. I was going to say I could just cancel, replace, and just come right back in there. So what are we doing here? All I'm doing is just scalping back and forth. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, people, you can actually make, if you know how to order route, you can actually make a decent living just firing off a couple trades like this. I'm not giving it any time, but I could scalp 5 or 10 cents out of these markets all day, every day. And you're like, what happens when we move big? We move big, you hedge. That's it. I mean, listen, it could not be an easier business when you're scalping back and forth like this, right? And the spiders, oh, this is utopia. It literally, like, the spiders are utopia. And most people are like, I don't know if I like the spiders. What's not to like? It's a $370 product with Pennywide bid offer spreads. Okay. I mean, this is like, you know, I use the analogy of playing golf. Okay. This is like going a putt-putt. You know, it's putt-putt. You don't even have to bring the driver. Okay. You bring a putter. Why? Because there's like a clown on the other side. You just hit him in the nose and it's a hole in one. It's that easy when you're in the spiders. Some people are like hell bent. They're like, no, I learned how to do an iron condor. An iron condor goes in the SPX. And I'm like, the SPX, listen, I traded in here. Okay. I know the SPX better than most. I traded. And when I say in here, I traded in there. Okay. I actually was managing risk for a market making firm for the SPX, OEX, okay? And I actually slung the S&P futures at that time. And when I say I traded in here, there's a reason that they call this product the widow maker. You got to understand what you're doing. Like this, okay? This is serious. The SPX, even when it's like, what, $3 and $4 wide markets, the spiders though, the spiders is kind of like going into like, Disneyland. It's a small world after all. You're like, oh yeah, little wax figurines. You can't get crushed in a marketplace that has Pennywide markets. Okay, this is actually the place to learn, okay, that you have preferential order treatment. This is the place to learn. It's calm, it's gentle, right? Look at the bid offer spread in here is 5 cents wide. You don't have to deal with that crap. Look at this. I'm going to come out here and bid $1.63. Okay, so now I'm bid $1.63. They're going to move that market to 163. Why? Because now I'm the best bid. So anybody that wants to go out there, they have to fill through me. So I just filled then at $1.63. Now I come over here again to my positions, come back down, come over here and close the position. So I filled at $1.63. Now I'm going to go out there and try to whack that trade at about $1.60. Okay, filled instantaneously. Do you understand what it means now to have a high frequency firm as a backbone? Okay, because I'll show you right now. I can come into Thinkorswim and I'll tell you what, I worked at Thinkorswim for a long freaking time. Okay, and it is fast, but it is nothing in comparison to the action that you can get on Tastyworks. Okay, a diehard in this business, a diehard in terms of order execution, is now a Tastyworks client. And it is what it is. And that's why I said my intraday trading, by the time I click in here, I screw around with this, I come in here, all right, $1.61, confirm and send the order. Look, okay, I had to wait though for that to actually occur. Come in here, cancel, replace the order, all right? Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make with that is the order routing platform of today and the order routing platform of tomorrow, okay, is clearly going to be Tastyworks. There's no question that, like, the Thinkorswim charts, they're smoking. I still use them. That's what I was saying earlier. I had too many Thinkorswim charts open over here. Okay, and it's yeah, it is what it is. By the way, somebody was asking me about futures contracts. So if you're going to trade futures contracts, there's a couple of different brokerage firms that you want to use. Tastyworks though is going to be smoking fast. Okay, just smoking fast if you want to to actually trade in terms of futures contracts. In fact, Tastyworks has a sister firm called the Small Exchange, and the Small Exchange, all right, and I'll actually bring this up for just a moment. And people, you may know this or may not know this, but there's different presets in here. Okay, there are different futures markets. There's the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right? The CME, different products. There's micros, but there's now the Small Exchange. And the Small Exchange is a brand new exchange. It only launched this summer. There's not much volume yet for it. And by the way, there's no options yet for it. Okay, but what they do on the Small Exchange, okay, is they give you an incredibly tight marketplace, right, for you to trade futures, and it's not intimidatingly large, okay, like it would be if you were trading, for instance, an S&P E-mini. Okay, and they're products that we're getting comfortable with them. They actually have a brand new product that's coming out where you just trade like the 10-year. There's some brand new products over here that are coming out. They have products in dollar. They have the sticks, which is like the NASDAQ 100. It's a small technology. It's, again, this is going to be the up and coming, all right, exchange, because the products are so much more what I would term retail friendly. By the way, I love this one too. This is actually precious metals. It's a combined index. If you're like, should I trade gold? Should I trade silver? It actually combines a multitude of it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the Small Exchange in just a moment. Go back over to my watch list. So when it comes down to it, again, I just, today I wanted to give you like a smattering, if you will, of some order routing skills. There's some things that you have to understand, right? And this is where we're going to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart conversation. There's some things that you have to understand, okay, as a trader, is that when you're out there and you're trading, okay, you're a retail client, and people, they don't put emphasis on this, and they should, but as a retail client, look at this marketplace, okay? Look at that marketplace. it's a penny wide marketplace in most cases. When I say penny wide, okay, like some people they don't really understand, because maybe you're a little newer to this, what the concept of a like penny wide marketplace might mean. Like, what does it mean to be a penny wide marketplace? What it means, okay, is that the differential, again, between this is the bid and this is the offer. You could buy this option for 23 cents and 2 seconds later, sell it for 22 cents. Okay. That's what I mean by the differential between bid and offer. This again, that's utopia. But as a retail client, and here's where I say I'm gonna have a little heart to heart. You think about this where you're not really giving up any edge in here. Okay. Look, when I say you're not giving up any edge, if you had to buy this right this second, you buy it for 24 cents. 2 seconds later, you can sell it for basically 23 cents. And it's moving back and forth. It's fine. Okay. But you're not giving up any edge. So wait a second. You're a retail client. You have preferential order treatment, which what does preferential treatment means? It means you get filled first. You want to buy that at 23 cents, you could do 100 contracts right now, you're going to get filled first. You can do 1,000 contracts, you're going to get filled first. Then you could sell it 2 seconds later, okay, for what? For 22 cents. So the give up in bid offer spread is it's like what? Fraction of a penny. So you get to do what you want, okay, when you want, meaning you can execute anytime at the exact price that you want. And people go, how do you make money in this business? What do you think the market making firm is doing? They have to take the other side of your garbage, and somehow a market making firm takes the other side of your garbage and they turn it into money. You take good money and turn it into garbage, and you have to recognize that. And I'm not saying that to be defeating. I'm saying a lot of that comes down to how you're actually executing orders. It's understanding that differential between the bid and offer. It's understanding that you have and what your you have to understand like what your advantage is in this business, what your disadvantage is from a technology standpoint, okay? From a literal standpoint, like what is your advantage in here? I'll tell you exactly what your advantage is. You're a retail client, you get to do what you want, when you want, how you want. What's your disadvantage? Is there a disadvantage in this marketplace? Okay, I'll tell you what it is, right? The market makers, they're going to be faster than you. They're going to be faster than you because they're not actually even trading by hand. They're using algorithms to trade. So when I say they're going to be faster than you, but speed ain't your business. It ain't your business by the time you actually click on this option. It's what, 3/100ths of a second before you can actually click the mouse and execute here at 21 cents. Okay, who cares? They're already filled. But that's not really an advantage, is it? Okay, you just have to know that, you could do what you want, when you want, how you want. And the only recourse you have is to yourself, that you got yourself a good fill. And people, that's what the business is these days. Okay. It's about order execution, because when it comes down to it, brokerage firms have kind of leveled the playing field. Tastyworks has, without a doubt, the best order execution. Okay. Thinkorswim, it's got really, really good charts, but it's not going to hold a candle to the order execution of Tastyworks over here. So you got to, again, put your best foot forward in going out, in routing these orders, okay, and understanding that it's all about efficiency, okay, and making yourself efficient. Somebody says, well, I'm not that active of a trader. You don't have to be an active trader for this to apply to you. You could be, mom and pop that sell a covered call like once or twice a month. And I'll tell you what, if you can learn about efficient order routing skills and you just sell covered calls, like look at something just like Microsoft. Look at the bid offer spreads in here. Okay, look, that's 620 at 650. You think it's not worth to learn, even if you sell covered calls, to come in here and to tighten this marketplace up, to take a marketplace that's 620 at 650 and to condense that down from a 30-cent wide marketplace to a 5-cent wide marketplace. That's going to save you $15, $20 on the way in, $15, $20 on the way out. And again, people complain about commissions. You forget about market orders, okay? You learn to get efficient and to route orders, okay, with that degree of efficiency. That's what I wanted to spend some time on today. And I'll tell you exactly where this comes from. And it comes from a good place. Like, I know I get a little bit, hostile talking about this. I'm going to show you where it comes from. I'm just opening up here for a second on TD Ameritrade, okay? And I want you to see option statistics. And if you want to see something absolutely hideous, okay, downright ridiculous, look at the number of calls that have traded today, just the calls that have traded today in Tesla. This is Tesla. Almost 400 okay, and 70,000 calls have traded. Okay, you with me? So about 470,000, okay, calls have traded in here. Okay, well, whatever, man. Look, traded at the ask or above. 116,000, okay, traded at the ask or above, and traded at the bid or below. Okay, 109,000 traded at the bid or below. Timeout. Do you realize how much of like that's just abject stupidity? People went out over 200,000 contracts traded, almost half the size that traded in calls today, traded at the ask or above or bid or below. You know what that means? That's a means that a bunch of people, over 200,000 options traded today, basically just giving up the bid offer spread. They're just like, I'll just do a market order. It's okay. I just don't care. I'll just do a market order. The market here is 38.50 at 38.80. Look how much money is being given up in the bid offer spread in here. Okay. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And people they just go out there. I have to market order. I have to market order because I don't understand. Right. That's just Tesla. It gets way worse than that. Way worse than that. You start opening up stuff like Apple. Okay. This will really, I mean, this is money that is being given away. 880,000 options traded in here. Bid or below, 330,000. Ask or above, 350,000, almost 700,000. Okay, and you question whether this is a bunch of retail traders. Okay, this is like, you know, amateur hour inside of the marketplace. People just don't know what they're doing. I'm just going to do whatever it is, man. Okay, now the bid offer spread in here is not that wide inside of Apple, but again, that kind of order flow being generated at those are intimidating numbers. Okay, all I'm trying to elaborate upon, all right, is the need for you to spend time in learning about order flow. So at TheoTrade, okay, and I'll jump back over to a slide deck here for a second, okay? We include everything you need to invest in trade, and we have a multitude of full-blown 3-hour courses on order routing. We're not charging anything for them. I'm going to say that again, okay? We have, well, there's 97, actually 98 now classes, okay, here at TheoTrade. We will not charge you anything, okay, for the courses. We want you to open up a Tastyworks account. If you go to theotrade.com/Tastyworks, okay, open and fund a Tastyworks account will actually give you 3 months now of TheoTrade, okay? And it's everything you're gonna need at TheoTrade. It's a full-blown TheoTrade 3-month membership. And by the way, there's no, you know, rules like, yeah, you don't have to sign up after the 3 months. You don't have to give us a penny. Open up a Tastyworks account. Listen, the founders of Tastyworks, okay? The founders of Tastyworks, the same founders, okay, as we're at Thinkorswim. I've got a very long relationship with them. When I say long relationship, I mean, people, we go back, you know, since, you know, early years of even the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I go back now almost, you know, 22 years with like Tom Sosnoff. So we are absolutely opening accounts. We have a relationship with Tastyworks. You go to theotrade.com/Tastyworks. You have to open the account. You do it today. It only takes 10 minutes of paperwork, and then just fund it. And you have to fund it with more than $2,000, and you have to have the account open, okay, for a period of like 6 months. But we give you, the moment that you fund the account, we will then turn you on to TheoTrade, okay, for 3 months. And again, TheoTrade has classes and coaching sessions and email access to me, the instructors. But if you want to learn more about order routing and order routing skills, okay, this is the place to do it. Again, bar none. I mean, some of the stuff we talk about here, there's only a few people in this entire industry, okay, that get it to this depth. And when I bring this up, so we give you access to all of our trading classes. And I don't want you guys to think that this is some, like, you know, like a rinky-dink little membership. This is TheoTrade. Okay, we give you now full-blown access to TheoTrade if you open up a Tastyworks account. Everything is available immediately to you. We give you access to 97 classes, in-out spreads, guide to surviving and thriving, okay, extreme volatility, okay? We give you, you know, black book spreads, how to collect income being short. I mean, there are literally 97 classes. In fact, we just had a new class this last week, so it's 98 classes, okay? The instructors, Jeff Bierman, Matt Williamson, Corey Rosenblum, Brandon Chapman, Steve Miller, Tony Rago, Blake Young. Blake, okay, Brandon, and Jeff Bierman all actually worked at some point with us at Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade. So we have some brokerage veterans in here. All of us have a different genre of trade that we, in fact, focus on. So, and I'll answer a ton of the questions. There's a million questions coming in over here. And by the way, I'll answer most of when I say the brokerage related questions, there's a million of them, but I spent 15 years in the brokerage business. So I can usually tell you, yes, you can do this. No, you can't do that. So these are all the instructors, obviously. By the way, Tastyworks is opening in Canada, okay, this next year, but they're still working on that one. So with that, by the way, here's a couple of the instructors. We had a Zoom meeting the other day. I took a screenshot of the Zoom meeting. Okay, it's pretty scary. This is what happens when everybody's working from home for way too long. There's a lot of bearded individuals in here. We got a beard. We have partial beard, definitely a beard. There you go. Some more. Corey looks 12 years old, is incapable of probably a facial hair. Nevertheless, not me. Anyway, some of our instructors. So this is actually what we provide to you, okay? We give you 3 months unlimited access to TheoStream. We have a live trading chat room. We broadcast for 6 hours a day. We're giving you real-time trade ideas, okay? Real-time insights. We do text and push notification of trade ideas. We have our own mobile application. We have 5 different trading portfolios. There are 6,000 members of TheoTrade. We have daily coaching sessions. A coaching session, okay, is just continued education. But probably one of the biggest things that I put in here is the brokerage firms today. Tastyworks, phenomenal customer support. Okay, TD Ameritrade, fair, but we are also here. We will answer your trade related questions via email. And I always say that because, if you're going to open up a brokerage account, that's the way to do it, because you can email us for specific questions over here. What we actually built is kind of like TheoTrade. We kind of call it the Netflix for traders. The reason that we kind of call it the Netflix for traders, if you guys have never seen TheoTrade, right here, this is a little bit about what TheoTrade looks like, but this is actually our start here menu. If you're brand new to options 101, okay, part 1, part 2, options 201, options 301. But what I was talking about today, and I am relentless about, okay, there's order execution part 1, 2, and 3, right? Those 3 courses in there, that alone is worth taking the time to open up the account. And that's, again, what products to watch and why. Today I just gave you like a smattering, and I hope you realize, when I say I just gave you a smattering, I just touched upon one little skill, and I think it opens up people's eyes to like, holy crap, I didn't know you could do that, and all the different class archives. I say it's like the Netflix. We have option classes and option newbie classes and technical analysis and day trading. Somebody was asking a lot about futures. Okay, that is probably one of our strongest points here. We have, okay, 2 of our full-time staff, which are Tony Rago and Corey Rosenblum, are exclusively futures traders. Okay, so that's 2 out of the 8 are exclusively a futures 101, what products to watch and why. But we also have, again, full-blown courses in how to get better executions in futures as well. What you're looking at right here, just so you guys here, I'll refresh real quick. Okay, this is live. All right, this is when I say this is live.
And you can download this.
Okay, this is actually one of our instructors right now, and this is this is actually one of our futures hours. This is Tony Rago. So he's in there live right now. And again, the start here menu, all right, all the different archives and classes, you get access to everything. And here it is, total Theo for 3 months, 97 trading classes, new monthly classes, okay, text and push notifications, daily coaching sessions. The instructors will answer all your questions. All you have to do is go to theotrade.com/tastyworks. And I don't mind bringing this up for you. Here is theotrade.com/tastyworks. I'll pop that up over here. Okay, you just click on open a new account. This account opening, it won't take you more than about 10 or 12 minutes to go through here. Okay, you'll see the referral code is already in there. Okay, all of your pricing is listed in here. It is, and again, I want to clarify this. it is $1 in commissions. And you're like, oh, $1 expensive. My brokerage firm's 65 cents. No, 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 no. It's $1 to open, 0 to close. Stocks are 0, right? And again, it's really, really competitive. And probably the most competitive side of Tastyworks, okay, is if you trade, for instance, 100 contracts, okay, they only charge you $10, meaning that it's $1 per contract. But if you do over 10 contracts, okay, it's $10. They cap at $10. So Tastyworks has become the preeminent place to execute orders if you're a bigger trader. But at the same time, it's also wonderful for smaller traders because it's $1 on the way in, 0 on the way out. It's phenomenal. And then this is why we're back doing business with these guys, because they built Thinkorswim. We've got a huge relationship with them. They now built Tastyworks, and it's time. It's time to make a change. So fill out the account statement again. It's just TheoTrade.com/Tastyworks. Takes 10 or 12 minutes. Fund the account anytime really in like the next 30 days. There's one other kicker that I haven't really talked about that we're actually going to give you guys. And that's this. If you do this today, if you actually fill out the account opening form today, we'll also give you a membership. And this is something that I literally purchased for you guys. We'll give you a membership to the small exchange. The small exchange is an up and coming futures exchange. So you can actually read a little about it, okay? It's a small membership, okay? So the small exchange and the membership costs $100. We're actually covering it. I was able to go out and buy, and I literally bought 1,000 small exchange memberships all at one time. And I got like a bulk discount on them. So we'll actually provide you a small exchange membership, and net, it's saving you a lot. So we're giving you 3 months to TheoTrade plus a small exchange membership. Okay. And on top of it, you're getting Tastyworks, which is a phenomenal brokerage firm. So I'll answer a couple questions on here and then let you guys go. And by the way, there's a lot of like brokerage related questions. I love it. By the way, here at TheoTrade, you don't need anything but a laptop internet connection. You can even use a mobile device. Okay. We don't do memberships. By the way, with signing up for this, you don't pay a dime to us. You just open up an account. And what it's going on here is you open up an account with Tastyworks, okay, and they're paying for your TheoTrade 3-month membership. I'm actually paying for the small exchange. So we do weekly videos in here. We provide you access to TheoTrade mobile archives, everything. Okay. You can even put your cell phone number in when you actually enroll. When you enroll for TheoTrade, put your cell phone number in. We'll send you text messages when we do trades. You can email us anytime. And again, you're going to gain access to everything we do, every course we've done in the previous, we're actually 5 years now. In the previous 5 years, you're going to get access to every course, every coaching session, all of it's searchable, okay? And all the trades that we do, you can do them in an IRA, retirement account with as little as $2,000. By the way, there was a question that came up in here, and I'm going to address it, and I think it's viable. The question that actually just popped in here, and I appreciate this one. Somebody said, "What kind of option trades can I do?" And the answer is, with Tastyworks, you can do anything you want. There's no level of approval at Tastyworks. They don't go like, you can do this, but you can't do this. Okay. They even allow you to, like, you can even sell calls naked inside of an IRA. There's no other brokerage firms that do that. It's pretty good stuff. All right. There is incredible flexibility and variability to what you can do with Tastyworks. And it's one of the reasons we like it. It's that's pretty much what I wanted to cover here. And I'm going to answer a couple of just generalized questions on here. Let me pop this address up because somebody was asking for it. It's TheoTrade.com/Tastyworks. It'll help you open up an account. All right. Okay. Let's just see. By the way, somebody said an old Tastyworks account that I never funded. Now, you know what you want to do is you want to go back through. You probably want to go back through the account opening process there. Okay, if you've never funded an account, it probably makes sense that you want to click and re-go through the account opening process. They may dump all the information, and it has to do with what's called know your customer. That's actually a regulatory rule. Know your customer. The account information has typically got to be fairly fresh within like the last 3 months. So hopefully that helps, Duncan. And again, I gotta say, it's been a long time since I've traded on a platform other than like Thinkorswim, because somebody was asking this over here, right? It's been a long time since I've traded on anything but Thinkorswim. I spent 15 years over there, so the changeover hasn't been easy for me, but I've now been trading on Tastyworks for over a year. We went public with the idea that we were trading on Tastyworks, okay, only this summer. I mean, it was this summer we started, hey, you know what? We're doing a deal with Tastyworks, okay, and you just have a good relationship with them. When you know somebody and you've worked with them, and I literally worked with Tom Sosnoff. I traveled with Tom for over 10 years, okay, and I survived, but I traveled with Tom for over 10 years. We're about as close as you can be. I mean, Tom literally threw me my bachelor party. That's how close we are with those guys. I still, I didn't jump over to Tastyworks until I started seeing there's cracks forming in Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade. When I say cracks forming, there's structural issues with the technology that I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome. And as a trader, like, my business is on the line. I'm not going to rest my business at one brokerage house. I'm moving quite a bit of capital over to Tastyworks right now. So that's by the way, that's the real impetus behind some of the move over here. Um, Again, for Canadians, you have to kind of hold that thought. They're going to get their Canadian approval in 2021. It just got slowed down a little bit by COVID. Uh, you know what? So Mark asked this, and Mark, I don't mind addressing this. Somebody said, what are your thoughts on like Fidelity, their Active Trader Pro? Okay. It pales in comparison from both a technology perspective, but more appropriately, Fidelity isn't going to let you do what you want with your capital. Okay. They're not set up to be like an options boutique trading firm. They're not set up for active traders, even if it calls it an Active Trader Pro. And I got to tell you, Fidelity, and I know, again, I know the brokerage business probably better than most. I've been around it, most of my adult life. Fidelity is an incredible for management of capital. It's if you want to put your assets under somebody else's management, maybe Fidelity is the place to go for 401ks and IRAs. Fidelity is the last place to go if you're actually going to actively trade. There's just no question about that one. So contingency orders, limit orders on there. It's okay. It's good to go now. They're all set up in here. Okay. Oh, you know what? If you have a specific account question, some people talk about like different trusts and so forth. So you can go through and open up like the individual account, and you can absolutely call them and throw it towards a trust at that point in time. There's some limitations obviously in the account opening process, but I can just tell you firsthand on the trust account, I have one, and of course it relinquishes to a trust. So that's of critical importance. Okay. Does my buying power for IRA margin stay the same for Tastyworks versus Thinkorswim? So your IRA, Andre, you can do a lot more with the IRA at Tastyworks than you can with Thinkorswim. A lot more with the IRA. All right. In your margin account, there's going to be full blown flexibility from the day that you open the Tastyworks accounts. Like Tastyworks account will let you have like at Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade, they have like level 1, 2, 3, and 4 of options clearance. They don't have that at Tastyworks. So from like day one, you open up a Tastyworks account, you are free to do whatever you want whenever you want. I hope that makes sense. Like it's freedom, and you're like, I don't trust myself. Okay. Well, that's okay. Then don't sell things naked. Oh, Gary said, do they have a training platform at Tastyworks? Yeah. When it comes to Tastyworks, so they are a brokerage firm, but they're also their education side in terms of like learning the platform is phenomenal. I mean, it really is. Like their demonstrations are phenomenal. I haven't even like demoed, like I don't record demonstrations of Tastyworks because theirs are probably even more effective than mine would ever be. They have excellent demonstrations though of the platform. Okay, I like what somebody said in here. It said, it looks like you're keeping TD Ameritrade for charting and use Tastyworks for trading. Shh, don't tell anybody. Like I do. I mean, listen, I am right now, I'm a tweener. Okay. I'm a tweener. I'm over here, obviously looking. Okay. And I'm over here predominantly trading. I'm definitely in between platforms right now. And the charts, okay, like you guys have to realize, like I helped build Thinkorswim. There's huge amounts of Thinkorswim I helped build. And there's one part of Thinkorswim that I worked on, like scanning and charts. 7 years of my life went into that. Like Tastyworks is a newer up and comer. Like they haven't had the time in the saddle to develop the charts quite as much, but I've been fully impressed with what they've done in the short amount of time that they've done it. So by all means, listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I tried to grab as many questions as I possibly could. What's important to me and what you need to take away out of this is, open up an account, come to TheoTrade, shoot me an email. I'll give you every order routing class that we've done. The order routing portion of it is imperative. And I want you guys to understand that we're trying to get people to route orders more efficiently. And because that's what keeps people alive in this business. And that's why we did a deal with Tastyworks is they've got the backbone for the order routing. We're doing the education for it. And it's a fairly good marriage. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you need anything from anyone here on the TheoTrade side, okay, just go support@theotrade.com. All you do is basically go in here, open an account, fund it. Okay. We'll give you a small exchange subscription on top of it. When you fund the account, we will then, after that, we'll get confirmation from Tastyworks. We then turn on your TheoTrade subscription. So your TheoTrade subscription will be active and turned on, okay, a few days after you fund your Tastyworks accounts. Thanks everybody for joining us today. Guys, appreciated it. Have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye-bye.